Even though we've been taught to keep away from greed and all kinds of lust the eye, lust the flesh, and the pride of life and the love of money, we must not forget we must still be good stewards over what we have been given. The finances we've been given, the health we've been given to keep fit, to keep excellent in our work, to build our marriage up, our relationships up. Often this takes work, discipline, a lot of effort. And listen to this next clip. It probably goes more about financial success, but many of these principles are very applicable in being good Christian stewards over what we've been given and understanding and becoming good at the basics. Honoring your word, being faithful, being diligent, working hard, discipline, planning. And although this can lead to excesses where people try and make more and more money, they are powerful tools for being a faithful steward in whatever area you want to improve on or get better in for God.
We have to get your operating system operating at world-class standards so that it is perfect in its execution, that its operation is world-class. Then we can layer on top of that the leadership software, the sales software, the parenting, the marriage software. And maybe now, for the first time, once installed, it actually will perform to its capability. So that's what we're up to here, quantum leap. It wasn't just right place, right time, as Trump said yesterday. Yes, luck plays a part, but it only plays a part after you've worked your butt off. So it wasn't any grand act of luck either. Success is, if you're looking for the answer of what caused these people to get on the cover of Success magazine, success is a result of small, seemingly insignificant, moment-to-moment choices. The only thing that separates them from you is that accumulated compound effect of those little choices that created dramatic differences in results. Small little choices like at lunch, you're given a menu. And what is a menu? It's just a series of choices, right? Do you pick the hamburger and fries, or do you pick the salad? Now you're thinking, that doesn't seem like that big of a choice. I'm telling you, it is. Small little choices like, at the end of a long, hard day, do you stop by the gym and put in a workout, or do you rush home to catch your favorite sitcom? Small little choices like, in the heat of an argument with your spouse, do you walk out of the room and say, I'm not going to deal with this? Or do you spin on your heels, say you're sorry, and choose to make a moment of magic? Small little choices like, in a networking event, do you walk across the room and introduce yourself to that person? You're a little bit afraid to do so. Or do you hunker down in fear one more time? Small little choices like, at the end of a long day, do you put in a few more phone calls, or do you just simply call it a day? You see, these small choices add up to big, gargantuan differences in results. Let me give you a reference point in which to associate this with. If I were to give you a choice of a single cent, a single penny, that doubles every day for 31 days, or €1,000,000 in cash right now, how many people would take the million in euro? Okay, tough crowd. All right. Let me sweeten the offer here a little bit. Penny that doubles every day for 31 days, or $3 million in euro right now, right here today. How many people take the 3 million in euro? Okay. Well, let's say that you were paying attention and you said, small things add up to big results. I better pick the small thing. There's a clue there. And let's say that you picked the penny, okay? But your neighbor at home picked the 3 million euro in cash. So now we're going to start proceeding in life. 20 days down the road and your penny is still 5,242 euro, and they've got $3 million in cash. 3 million euro in cash. It's not until we get to day 31 that we see the dramatic outcome of this compounding penny, where your penny is turned into 10,737,000 against their paltry 3 million. What you need to know about this is the reason why Einstein called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Because the math between day 1 and day 2 is exactly the same math between day 30 and day 31. Nothing's different. You just see the compound effect of it. And this is why I'm telling you right now this morning, compound choices are the eighth wonder of the success world. Because the same choice you make between day 1 and day 2 is exactly the same simple, small, easy choice at day 30 to day 31. But the outcome of those choices are dramatically different. Let me give you a for instance. Let's take 3 friends. Let's say they all start off exactly the same. 3 ACN representatives are starting off exactly the same. But Scott decides he's going to try some of these things that he learns here this morning. And here's what Scott's going to do. Instead of getting up every morning and reading the newspaper and seeing all the corruption, wars, and crimes and scandals that are happening in the world, he's going to get up and read 10 pages of a nice, good book, something positive, something about success and achievement, just 10 pages. On the way to the office, instead of listening to the radio and hearing more wars, gossip, and conversations about other people, he's going to put in one of those CDs, something positive, something instructional. He's going to cut 125 calories out of his diet. Okay, that's a half a candy bar or small bowl of cereal, meaning he's not going to go on any rash diet. He's going to drink 2 bottles of water a day. He's going to park at the back of the parking lot and walk into the office. He's going to make a few more calls before calling it a day. And he's finally going to make that date night with his wife a priority. Okay? That's all Scott's going to do. Now, Larry's just going to keep being Larry and doing exactly what Larry's always done all his life. Brad, and I hope there's no Brads like this in the room, but here's all Brad's going to do. He's going to start making a few poor choices, meaning he's going to munch on a little junk food at the office. You know, like a half a handful of chocolate-covered peanut M&Ms. That's it. He's going to miss a couple of workouts a week. He's going to drink more Diet Coke than water. Not good. He's going to move around a little less because he's sitting behind a computer all day. He's going to skip a prospecting call or 2. And he's going to give the cold shoulder to the spouse a couple of times throughout the week. No big deal. Nothing dramatic, right? This is not going to be a Jerry Springer episode. Just a cold shoulder every once in a while. So now, if we take these 3 friends and these 3 different behaviors and we chart it out, 5 months down the road, these 3 friends look exactly the same. 10 months down the road, exactly the same. So now Scott's thinking, what's going on? I'm getting up every morning and reading this book, and I'm listening to these CDs, and I'm doing this date night thing with my wife every week. And my buddies are just sloughing off, and we have exactly the same results. You can see why people get frustrated and start giving up because they think it's not working. But let's just say he proceeds a little bit further. 20 months down the road, slight differences, right? Brad's starting to feel it in the belt a little bit, right? You really can't tell, but he can feel it in the belt. At the office, tension and anxiety start to set in. At home, apathy. Now, the neighbors and friends, they don't really see it, but it started to set in. It's not until 27 months later that the differences between these 3 friends are dramatic. Let me show you. So Scott, here's what's happened to Scott 27 months later. He's read 47 books Now, you know that the average college graduate does not read 3 books the rest of their life. And he's read 47 books the last 27 months on success and achievement, 465 hours bombarding his mind with success and achievement. Is that going to make a difference to his attitude, to his mindset, to his results? Dramatic. The 125 calories he cut out of his diet meant that he lost 33.5 pounds. Do you realize that we can end obesity in the world if everybody just cut 125 calories off their base diet over time? He drank 3,700 gallons of water. Those 2,000 extra steps a day meant he walked 900 miles the last 27 months, losing another 30 pounds. And those date nights with his wife, the couple extra calls that he made each workday meant that he made 1,860 extra calls that he wouldn't have made otherwise. If he closed 3% of those, which means he didn't learn anything from those books or audios, he added on top of his previous $50,000 a year income an additional $279,000. And you know what Brad and Larry are saying? Oh, you're just lucky. So here's what Larry is doing. Larry's like most people in the Western world. They're treading water, falling a little bit further behind, becoming disenchanted, bored, apathetic, passionless, disengaged, and then they're blaming the government, right? Here's what Brad's small, simple, poor choices did to him. That 125 calories he added to his diet meant that he put on 33.5 pounds. Missed a couple of workouts, the Diet Coke, now he's in heart attack danger. Missed a few meetings, made a few less calls. He's about to be fired from his job and lose his home. The inattention and cold shoulder to his spouse means that apathy set in and he's on the brink of divorce. You see, small, seemingly insignificant, positive choices create extraordinary results. Small, poor choices over time create devastating results. So now, if all of this seems rather easy, why is it that people still fail and still make poor choices? Well, here's what I want to warn you of. There's 4 traps that you will face. Outside of this conference hall, these traps are on the ground. At home, these traps are on the ground. At the office, at the shopping center, these traps are on the ground. So I want to point them out to you so that you can go, whoa, I got to step around that. Because people with good intention step into these traps and then they get derailed and then they wonder why they end up with no results and so frustrated. So here's the first one. At the moment that you're making a choice, the consequences, the outcomes, or the results are invisible. It doesn't look like it's having any impact whatsoever. So you can get faked out. But I promise you, I could change your choices like that if I had the power to take the space-time continuum and collapse it. Meaning, if you made a choice right now, and I took the space-time continuum of that choice 15, 20 years out, and I collapsed it and showed you exactly what the outcome was, I promise you, you'd make a different choice. For instance, let's say at lunch, you did pick the hamburger and fries. And upon the first bite, your chest explodes and you drop to the ground in a heart attack. You'd probably lose the taste of hamburger really, really quickly. Or let's say the next morning you woke up like this. Yeah, whoa. How do you get like that? How do you get like that? One bite at a time. Simple as that. Or let's just say, you're out with your girlfriends. You didn't smoke, but they're encouraging you, like, have a smoke. And you try it, and you're like, put it down. That doesn't seem so bad. I don't know what everybody's talking about. But the next morning you woke up like this. You probably wouldn't take another cigarette. Or let's just say, you're a young kid and you try your first cigarette, you're behind the school, feeling like a rebel. Your friends are going, wow, you're cool, right? Looks like a young James Dean. But let's say I could take the space-time continuum of 20, 30, 40 years, and I could take your future self to talk to your current self about that choice. What would you say? Don't smoke another cigarette. But see, for decades, for years and years and years, it didn't look like anything was happening. It didn't look like anything was happening. And it wasn't until the last 4 or 5 years when the dramatic outcome of those choices made itself known. Or let's just say, you promised your sponsor, your upline, that you're going to make 3 calls. You're going to talk to 3 people every day about the ACN opportunity, okay? But today you got a headache. You got to make dinner. You got to pick up the laundry. Maybe I'll make them tomorrow instead of today. And I take the continuum of that choice and I collapse it. And we call Donald Trump and you become fired. You're out of ACN. Your house goes up on the chopping block and you're under bankruptcy. That's what the continuum of that single choice looks like over time. Or let's just say, you promised your spouse that you'd never go to bed angry. But tonight you're like, I just don't want to deal with this tonight. We'll talk about it in the morning. And you go and sleep in the guest bedroom. And I show you what that single choice looks like. And the next morning, you wake up to divorce papers. And you got to look your little girl in the eye and explain why you couldn't make a different choice. You see, every single one of these choices has what you can also call a butterfly effect.